Okay, first two bits of news for the new season. First off, new 4-year deal worth whatever money they offered me. I just accepted what they did. Most importantly, I'm here for 4 more years, nearly guaranteed, unless they fire me. Second bit of news. We are now in League 2. We have turned full-time professional. It increases the amount of staff we're allowed to hire. I've also been telling them that we need to hire a bunch of new people over and over and over again. We'll need to start looking into taking our current players, who are part-time, and giving them big boy full-time contracts, though it remains to be seen how that's going to work, because they might want a lot of money. We're also trying to look to move on a couple of our players that are reaching kind of their limit in terms of ability. More to come in just a bit. Okay, we return with our first couple of signings. Just rejects from the Premier League. Might be able to be something in the future. First one, Harrison Dudziak, a central midfielder who can play, really only central midfield. 18 years old, previously at Arsenal. We believe, however, he has potential up to League 1, so he's just going to kind of stay on our bench more than likely. Romeo Ford, he's a winger. But this originally said championship potential. Now it's only potential League 1. We'll, of course, be training him as a central midfielder, because he, actually, what are his stats looking like? Might end up being a striker instead. Has he got good finishing? Not particularly. But he's a bit of a jumpy boy. Not very good at heading, though. Okay at passing. I mean, he's not great at much. We'll deal with that later. Just trying to figure that out. And finally, Josh Nicholson. He gets a back who can play either side as a complete wingback, apparently. 17 years old, English individual, previously of Arsenal as well. Just a young player with tons of potential that could improve a lot. We're probably somewhere in the range of League 2, League 1 standard. But with that being said, those are our first few signings. We probably need to get them on bigger boy contracts because we just recently became a full-time club. I'm trying to get everybody new contracts. It's a struggle because, as I said earlier, I didn't upgrade the training facility like some of them liked. So we may have a bigger squad rebuild than I thought. But let's continue to see what happens next. What happens next, though, is Rob Street winning Player of the Season, and then us actually looking to try and sell him off. Because he is a fringe player who could still improve. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. We think he's only ever going to be a good League 2 player. So I think I'm trying to cash in his value while he has value. Problem is, I don't think he's going to have too much. But cool to see that we got a player signing of the season. Hey, more rumors abound, as the owner is possibly looking to sell the club once again. The third time it might happen, but considering we're jumping out of League 2 and we need more money, this time it might actually be a possibility. Another new thing I got. Coach of the Year. Head Coach of the Year 2 times in a row, both the league below and this league. Probably not going to get it next year, but it certainly will impress the board and has earned me my contract. Player signings is rough. Turning professional and having to switch everybody out. Everybody wants more money. We don't have that much more money because our board is broke because we're not actually good enough to be at this level. We'll see how this all ends up. Okay, more things done. First up, Rob Street leaves the club because he's not good enough to advance to the next level. However, the fans are not a fan. Sam Woods goes, I don't care. That's fine. But Jasper Moon is a new person we are bringing in. 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. Could be a League 1 player one day. He's already a good player for the level we were at before. He's on a relatively cheap contract. Well, £700 a week, not being relatively cheap. It's a backup, though I think I said he's a regular starter. We'll figure that out later. But whatever happens, happens. And then finally, Moore is leaving. Unhappy because he was important. Fans just don't like me selling the players that they like. We live with that. He was worth a fair bit of money, 76k plus some stuff on top of that. A very nice deal. Most importantly, because of our 60% transfer retainment, I can now turn that into new players who might be helpful to the first team squad. This next season is going to be a struggle. Okay, next bit of news. The Vanarama National signing of the season, we did end up winning by getting Ben Wilson on a free transfer. Romain Mundell also makes the list. Very, very nice for us. He is someone that we're going to be offering an extension to because he has the good ability. He has the ability to improve to at least a League One player. So we're going to be keeping around for at least a while longer to see if he can grow with the club. Season has finally ticked over. And some interesting news, however, recently promoted, we are only in 20th place right now as far as relegation odds go. And there are only 2 people that are going to get relegated from this, which means, based on the preview, we're not going to be getting relegated. But now, hopefully, since we're actually up in League 2 and the season is ticked over, we can go through and actually sign players of League 2 standards, because right now everyone was throwing a fit that we weren't a worthwhile side when they were League 2 ability. Made me see it. If anybody even in the best players? 2. For Amari Ford, who I guess is with our team, and Max Sanders. Those are 2 of our players. I think we might be going to a winger system mainly because of this guy, but we'll see if we can train him as a midfielder or a striker. It's been rough. It's been rough. Okay. New signings coming in. First up, Douglas James Taylor. He's not as good as I hoped. Leading League 2 player in the future, quite possibly good enough to play the National League. At current time, 2.5-star ability, 4.5-star potential ability, fringe player. Depth, I guess. Logan Pyre, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. Move between squads. You are coming to the first squad. That is correct. Very, very good signing. Previously of Man UFC, a little in Sunderland as well. Was bought out. Probably going to come in, maybe be our first choice, maybe be our second. It kind of depends on what we end up getting. I think I have someone ahead of him in the rotation that we're looking to bring in. Henry Jeffrey, play anywhere along the back. So another versatile player, kind of like Andy, who's also could probably be sitting on our bench. Wait, we have more bench slots and more subs. Maker. Okay. Overall, potentially League 1 player in the future. Previously of Arsenal, came to us on a free. And next up, we already covered that guy. We got Region Clayton. 3-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, up to League 1 standard. He is previously of West Ham. Another probably depth piece. He's said as a squad player. I might end up changing some of these guys around, depending. Currently, the team is kind of pissed at me because training facilities haven't been improved. Levy Lang has been changed from an important player, so everybody is very annoyed with that. So I'm working on making everything better. More to come in, hopefully, but no one wants to come play for us, and our finances, I've transferred it all into budget so I can actually buy players. I think I'm going to have to transfer some of this out. I have to do some other things, but something like this, I can bring in a few players, spend a little bit of money on them, and hopefully find some real quality League 2 standard players. If nothing else, the development over this season for our team will be very, very valuable. I'm thinking one of the problems I'm having is every time I try and get a player in, they say they're not interested. This is the main problem I'm facing. Our reputation is not particularly high. Considering we were just in Tier 6 and we're a new club and we just got promoted to Tier 2, no one, even like mediocre players, are not trying to sign for us. I didn't expect that, so I sold off some players I probably shouldn't have sold off in that case. But it's a struggle. We're gonna work through it. Hope that we can end up stronger come the beginning of the season. Got friendlies to go and still looking to try and do something. Okay. Not a single striker wanted to sign with the club that was better or equal to Wilson. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential, that's the best we've gotten. Even then, he's not quite the best forward because he's not great at finishing. More of a winger. So, we've decided to go to a 4-3-3 winger system. We would normally play a defensive midfielder. We don't have one of those either. So, what we do, I guess Sanders can play it, but he really prefers to be a little bit further forward. So we're playing a 4-3-3 vertical 4-3 wide vertical tiki-taka system. I'll fiddle with this later. But for now, this is our team, and it's not great. Since you were last here, I don't know. We've done some stuff. You might have seen this guy, I'm pretty sure. Saw that guy. We signed this kicker, Region Clayton, another left back, because we didn't have enough of those, from West Ham. And this guy, who is going to be really just a versatile play wherever we want him to kind of guy. 21 years old, Nigerian nothing, he's not an international. Previously of Derby. kind of kicking around their club as they got relegated and stayed out. We paid quite a bit of money for him to be not nearly as good as I hoped he'd be. This was full and that was a little bit higher, but most important thing is he offers a ton of versatility. He's also currently playing as our left winger because we don't have anybody for Wilson, as we're probably going to drop him back and figure out, well, maybe make this guy the backup. We're not exactly sure yet. I say we, it's me. Me and the mushroom on my head. I've not decided yet. We're still trying to bring in new players. This guy specifically, oh man, would this guy be awesome. We need a lead striker, and this guy looks like a lead striker. We're trying to bring him in at the end of the season to be awesome. We're trying to bring I guess that's staff. Yeah, that's all we've got. I mean, it's brutal. We spent some money. We still have a little bit of money. We still have a ton of payroll. If we wanted to, we could really go up here and sign someone for 300-ish K and call that good, but we don't feel the need to. I'm struggling. As I mean, I've mentioned that many times. Our balances are still fine. The board is still using to improve the training facilities. I don't know how much it costs to try and do so. If we look at the club right now, our facilities are below average, basic youth stuff. Good news is the December Center is still adequately sized, even though it was built over 130 years ago, basically. And so we don't have to build a new stadium, so we don't have to pay for anything like that. We still have some affiliate clubs. Might want to look into Watford and see if they're going to offer any sort of players. Do you have anybody in the other 18s that are, how about under 21s? Regardless, we'll take a look around and see if any of them are worth looking into. Like this guy might be valuable for us. He's offered. But if we get a striker, this system is probably going to be awesome after I fiddle with all this. So that's my progress update. Hopefully, by the time the season starts, some of these problems will be fixed. Okay, I found one. I found a striker, everybody. In on loan from Norwich, he's worth a lot of money because he is going to be one day a championship level player. He's already a League 2 standard player, according to the scouts, but we think he's a 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential player who can, I mean, he takes penalties, he plays up front like we want, and most importantly, really good at finishing, can do basically everything. We want him as an advanced forward, as he's the sole guy up there. All of these stats, he's fast, he's quick, good, finish. The only thing he's not great at is dribbling and passing. Okay. Oh no. So that is an option. We are also looking to bring in one other, what I believe to be a great player. Here we go. Iris Omotoyo. Toyi? Who's going to be playing somewhere along the attack, maybe even kind of wherever we need him to. If he ends up coming to our squad, hope he does. When bidding for him thus far, paying him a lot of money. That almost taps out our salary budget, though our salary cap, but we can because I've got 1,000 more if we need to. The only area I think we really need people is the right wing. We don't have anybody spectacular. Goalie, we need a backup. We're currently looking to try and bring some people in, but it's slim pickings. Best way to say it. But we have an attack now. Have wingers on both sides. We have a midfield. Not the greatest rotation, but players that are going to develop into really, really solid players for this. You're injured. Linton can play anywhere along the left once he finally recovers. Our defensive backs, we've got enough of a rotation. There are good 5 options there. We got right back, and really just if else comes across that looks incredible, that's all we have left. Rough so far, but I think we're finally getting there. See you in just a moment with anything more that happens. Okay, new guy in, Max Thompson. A youngster free transfer, paying basically nothing. However, he is certainly coming up to our first team squad. Previously, he was with the Newcastle youth system. Not really good enough to start, however, he'll be a serviceable backup if we can't find anybody better. His stats, I mean, aren't great, especially his touch, but I'm not too concerned with all of that. He can just sit back and be a goalkeeper. Hopefully he will never have to play for us until he fills some of the great potential for us. More to come. Okay, Tyrese Odumoyo Omotoyi. I'll learn it eventually. Not quite as good as we thought he was. 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. Only League 2 standard. That's apparently what 4.5-star ability is for us. But he represents a very good option off the bench. Play anywhere we want along the attack. Should we end up needing him to play any of those roles? We'll add him as a taker later. Will, however, register. Because he needs to be registered. For the record, I am struggling to get people registered. I only have like, what is it, 8-10 players that actually need to be registered. Everybody else is either young enough or a goalkeeper. No requirement to do them at this low level. So, Tyrese immediately comes onto the bench. Probably in this guy. Stay on the bench. Okay, Max Thompson. Probably slip this slot. Oh wait, no, I can rearrange it. There we go. We do have 7 slots this time. I will make use of them as probably with any signings. We're getting very close to start. 15 days or so, so I got a couple of rotations, maybe a couple more trialists in, and that will be the end. One thing I find interesting, apparently our staff is incredible. I mean, we have like the best staff in the league. We have I don't know why. I think it's because I asked for coaches, and then automatically when they upgraded to a full-time professional team, they gave me more on top of that. But 6 coaches, 6 scouts, I think that's more than I have on the stream save in the championship. So we are overwhelming people. The only thing we don't have is a bunch of physios. But even then, our financial projection could be better. Not too bad. It's not too bad. If we sell players and perform well in various competitions, we could do fine. Except, of course, we're going to get knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the first round because we're up against a League. Wait, we're League 2. We can stand a chance against League 1 opposition. Unlikely, though. Currently, our projection for season preview is up to 6th place. So there is a good chance that we'll make something of ourselves. Sturridge, injured right now, is one of the best players in the league. He else? Oh, yes. Ken Abo is another one who key players to watch out for. So we got 2 players, both in on loan. I'm also looking to steal 2 of, I don't know how many I can steal from one team, but 2 players from Watford, able to steal 2, will be incredible for us. Very incredible. Might have some issues with dynamics, people not getting their playing time, but I can deal with that. I can sell players I don't need. These guys, especially considering I guess they're under contract for a long time, but if we like them, we could also look into maybe purchasing them in the future. So, always a thought. Back with more, and hopefully these 2. Good news, the first of the 2 loanies, the only one of the 2 loanies, because this guy didn't want to come in on loan, is going to come in. Isaac Mumbaya, English individual, previously from Liverpool, was sold to Watford recently, who are now in the championship. Are they one of the floaters that go up and down? They do skip a bit of floater. But a great player for us. Probably going to be our starting right back, so we can play him, I mean, wherever the hell we want, really. But I think right back is our area of weakness right now. We're currently paying a not so great player. We'd be better off playing on the bench. So, that being said, that's probably our last change before the break, but I'll see if anybody comes across. Okay, summer transfers, while window is not closed, transfers for us are now calmed down and basically first game is right around the corner, just a few minutes in game. Financially, we are looking not great. We're finally looking like we're spending too much money. I'm a little bit over our cap, a few $100s, because we're still trying to bring in a young player that with some potential. As for full-on transfers, oh Oh yes, we're also sending a few people out. We'll be getting a little money back, quite possibly. Which is quite nice. Brought a lot of people in, mostly on a free. This guy, if he ends up developing into something, he could be worth it. 60 to 600k. If he ends up being close to like 450, yeah, I mean that's a pretty good sell on. Everything else, I think, are worthwhile transfers. Most of them are youngsters. DJ Campton Sturridge is a 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. May one day be a leading League One player. I brought him in just to develop within the system. We've seen him. He's playing backup. Freddie Potts is another young, exciting prospect. Max Thompson, he's our goalkeeper. Sent out a couple of people on loan. And of course, we did sell people. They were really unhappy with how we sold basically a lot of the first team squad. Kemp, Street, and more. Had I known, I might have kept more. And Street, just of how Street did last year, and he was a fan favorite, though I did get up out of him. So I don't feel too bad that he's not going to be around, or he's not around. I thought I would be much better overall. However, looking at the League 2 preview, we're expected to finish about 15th place, so mid-table side. If we finish up in that area, I will be content. Because we need to develop in this league for 1 year, get some things in order, maybe get a buyout, maybe figure out what we're doing, and then maybe start pushing for the playoffs the year after, or the year after that, once our players start developing and reaching some of this potential now that we are a full-time club. Definitely going with this lineup. Saunders has been changed over to a deep-lying playmaker because he prefers that over playing as a ball-winning midfielder. So we're a pretty offense-oriented setup. We have some defenders, but in reality, we are made to score goals. We are staying on balance for now because that's how I prefer to do. A high defensive line, we have a high press. The hope is we can go out there and win enough games. Take a look at people like Levi. Oh my God, Levi Lang is. I thought he'd be disappointed. Oh, now we know. Unfortunately, he is on a long deal, so might have to look to start moving him on. Other players around the club, however, are beginning to fulfill potential, or we're learning a little bit about how much potential they have. Saunders, 4.5-star. Hilton, 4.5-star, leading. Is he still championship? He is good championship level player in the future. Folks, also, he is a leading League One player. So we have some people who could theoretically follow us up the league. We spend enough years developing it properly, and they don't get sniped away. Overall, we're about a 3 average. 3 being a leading, what is it? Good national player to leading national player, maybe crappy League 2 player, somewhere in that range. Overall, I think we can stay up. The media seems to think so. I certainly hope so. On our schedule, we got what is probably going to be 2 losses away against Crawley, who are promotion favorites, and then away against Bristol City in the Carabao Cup, where we are probably going to lose. We've also had a pretty bad draw for the Papa John's Trophy. 2 League One teams and a under-21s team. So odds are we're going to lose out of that as well. But there's still always the FA Cup. The FA Cup could come through at some point and give us some money. As I said, our finances, we're gonna dip down for the first time ever, which may force a sale by the owner, bring in some new money and some increased budgets and all that. Overall, not as successful as my previous off seasons. That's how I was able to bring in like a whole new squad that would immediately push us for promotion. And that's fine. The team needs to slow down. We need to sit around. Crawley, for example, 2-star reputation. We need to get up to his 2-star reputation so players will start taking us seriously. We might just push through this season, play a few games, see what kind of team we are, and if we end up being a solid mid-table side, I might just play most of it and we'll speed through the episodes as fast as possible. That being said, thank you very much for watching. See you all next time. First 2 games. Thanks for watching. You should watch another. Please.